What's up? This is your boy, Agree to Disagree, and I'm coming at you with another video review. Today, I'm going to be reviewing a video from the Valuetainment podcast where they had Fresh and Fit on. So, Myron gave some interesting views about when men should get married. So, I'm going to go ahead and play the clip and then I'm going to give my thoughts on it.
I say all the time, in today's day and age, you shouldn't be getting married until you're at least 35.
That was my next question
As a
for you.
man.
As a man, what age
What
should
about
you
women?
consider
Wow.
getting married?
So I have, this is my thing that I tell guys. I
27,
think 35 years old,
27, I hit it.
Yep. 35 years old, had slept with at least 50 women, 100K per year, you're in shape, and you got 6 months to 1 year of savings.
All right, done. I got to get married. I've done all that. That's easy.
You're in a position to
That's
do it now.
light work right there for me.
All right. First off, I want to say, as far as being in shape and having 6 months worth of savings, I completely agree with that part. I feel like that is something, all men should be doing is staying in shape and having at least 6 months of savings. That's all people should do that, men and women. So I can't disagree there, whether you're looking to get married or already married or what may have you. All people should be doing that. So that part I completely agree with. But this whole, you have to make $100,000 before you get married is ridiculous. If all men waited until they were making $100,000 a year, there would be less than 15% of men who are even eligible to get married. Men, please do not take this advice. I don't want you guys thinking that you have to make $100,000 a year before you can get married or before you're husband material. The self-deletion rate is already high enough for men without having to add on this pressure of making $100,000 a year before you can get a wife. And I'm not here saying that making money doesn't matter, but if you don't make six figures, it's not the end of the world, because the truth is most men will never reach $100,000 a year, and that's okay. I do believe that all men should strive for greatness and strive to be the best at their career and whatever else they choose to do. But I've spoken to a lot of men, and a lot of guys are okay with making $40,000, $50,000 a year. Men are very simple creatures. As long as we have a roof over our head, clothing, and food to eat, we straight. All that other flashy stuff is just to impress women. So if we're able to find a woman who loves us for who we are and is okay with us making $40,000, $50,000 a year, then go ahead and wife that girl up. And for those of you who think $45,000 a year is not enough, which is the national average, by the way, you guys are completely tripping. Don't buy into those articles about people making $100,000 a year and living paycheck to paycheck. Those people are living way outside their means. Those people got an $1,000 car note. They got a condo in the downtown metro area, and they're wearing nothing but name brand, talking about they're living paycheck to paycheck. $45,000 a year is more than enough to live a comfortable lifestyle. So just go ahead and get you a nice little Honda, a Toyota Corolla, get you a comfy little 2-bedroom apartment outside the city where it's less expensive, and you're straight. I know plenty of people who are making $45,000 a year and they still have money to go out the country once or twice a year. It's all about how you budget. Now, if you plan on having kids, you're probably going to have to increase your income about 10 to 15K a year per child in order to maintain that lifestyle. But if your wife is also making $45,000, $50,000 a year and she's contributing to the bills, you guys can easily maintain your lifestyle without struggling, and both of you guys are making an average salary. Now, the next thing he talks about is having 50 bodies before you get married. Now, I'm not really sure what's the significance of this, because I've heard Myron talk about men shouldn't care about pleasuring a woman. It's all about the woman pleasing a man. So I'm not sure what's the significance of having 50 bodies if it's not for experience purposes. But in my experience, having more bodies doesn't necessarily translate to being a good sexual partner. Every woman is different, so every woman is going to like different things. It's all about learning your partner and what they specifically like in the bedroom. And nowadays, there's plenty of information online on how to please a woman. There's books. There's people on YouTube. There's all kind of resources where you can learn different things about how to please a woman. So even if you don't have a large body count, you can kind of, you know, have an idea of what to do and what are some things that can help please your lady. And the other thing is communicate, talk to her, ask her what she likes, what she doesn't like. Now, fellas, if you do ask your woman, you know, what areas you can improve on, don't get all in your feelings about it. But if you are able to, you know, learn some things from some outside resources, or you find a sex coach, you know, she will probably be impressed by the fact that you are trying to learn new things and you're at least interested in pleasing her. No one likes a selfish lover. Now, the only other reason I can think why he would say you would need to have 50 bodies is that he's telling men to just go ahead and get it out their system. Because a lot of guys, they want to know what the life is like. Now, I famously made a video talking about how men nor women need a whole phase, and I'll put a link in the video. But no, I don't believe that you need a whole phase. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. I did have a whole phase. Some of it was fun, some of it wasn't. But I'll be honest with you, even the fun times came with a bunch of bullshit. And the truth is, guys are only going to tell you about the fun times during their whole phase, but they're not going to tell you about all the drama that goes along with it. You can watch my video and I go into a lot of detail about all the drama that comes with having a whole phase. Now, you can, you know, be wise and take my word for it that you're not really missing much, or you can go ahead and be hard-headed and have your little whole phase. But I will say this, make sure you protect yourself at all times. When you're having short-term relationships, you're dealing with all kind of floozies, and they come with all kind of drama. And I gotta say, I think 50 bodies is a lot even for a guy. But as long as your woman doesn't view you as a rookie or a novice, you should be good. I think the general rule is as long as you have more experience than your lady, things will go smooth. All right. And then the last thing he touched on was waiting until you're 35 years of age. Now, I feel like this is very circumstantial because, you know, he talked about, you know, waiting until you're making good money and you got all these bodies. Let's say you got the bodies, you're in shape, you got everything, you got it by the time you're 25. Now, they would probably argue that, okay, you're 25, you got all this stuff, you got all the options in the world. But one thing about that, and you know, here's is something that Fresh and Fit talk about themselves, is the more money that you make, the more careful you have to be when dealing with women. And so, yeah, you'll have more options, but now you have to worry about gold diggers and opportunistic type women. When a man can find a woman who loves him for him before he gets that success, those relationships tend to last much longer and they tend to be more happier. Because if you wait until you have all this success, and you hear a lot of celebrities talk about this, is the issue that they run into is that now they don't know if that woman loves them for them or they love them for the success that they have, right? There's magic in building together. You can meet someone who is nice while you're making $45,000, $50,000 a year, who loves you for who you are. And then you guys grow together. And while she's with you, you end up making $150,000 a year. And that's just going to make her appreciate you more just seeing the growth in you, and you're going to appreciate her more, seeing how she was loyal to you in the beginning before you had all the money and success. So here's what I say. If you're going to wait until you're 35, the important thing is, okay, you're waiting until you're 35 to get married. What are you going to be doing in the meantime? Because we all know that you're still going to be dealing with women. And that kind of goes back to not having a whole phase. Because if you're over here, just sleeping around, that's a big issue. It's more likelihood of STDs, more likelihood of having babies out of wedlock, more likelihood of dealing with women who could derail your success. So the number one thing you should focus on is your purpose. And the number two thing is, if you still want a woman in your life, let it be in the form of long-term monogamous relationships, because that is what's best for society. And so when you're focused on short-term relationships, you're not focused on quality, you're focused on quantity, which is a problem. When you're looking for long-term monogamous relationships, you're picking high quality women. So even if you slip up and have a baby, this is still a woman you can potentially see as a wife. Even if you don't have a baby, still you have a potential of finding a woman you can marry in the future. And then that goes back to my earlier point. You can find a woman who knew you before the success, before the money. You want to, at the very least, give women the opportunity to show their love and loyalty to you before you reach your zenith. But if you're having nothing but short-term relationships, you're not going to develop the skills that's going to make you a good husband. The only real benefit into waiting until you're 35 is that it gives you an opportunity to get all the hoeing out your system, which I don't recommend. And number two, you'll have more options once you get to that age. But if you find you a real one before you hit the 35, I don't see the issue with going on and marrying her. I know plenty of couples who have been together since high school and they get married in their early 20s. Until this day, they are still together. Now, I know it's rare that you'll go on to marry your high school sweetheart and continue to be together until you pass away. But what you don't want to do is shut yourself off from those opportunities. Because if you are able to find your life partner earlier in life, the better off you will be. You hear all the time how terrible it is in the dating market. That's why all these YouTube channels about relationships are blowing up, because people are struggling so badly in the dating market. If you find you a real one, get out the game. Now, I will say this as a caveat. If you have somebody, you're not 100% sure that she's the one, then my brother, go ahead and wait. There is no rush, especially if you're still in your 20s and you find one and you're not 100% sold. Wait, because if you're focused on your purpose, you're focused on yourself, getting in better shape, working on your career, you will have much more options once you get older. But I'm telling you, I promise you, if you find a woman before you reach your zenith, reach your peak, you will appreciate that woman 100 times more. So that's all I got to say on this one. You guys give me your thoughts. What points did you agree with? What points did you disagree with? Put it in the comment section below. And if you want to see more videos like this, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. And if you got anything out of this video, hit that like button. This is Agree to Disagree. I'm out.